Hello? We're supposed to talk.
Hey everyone, welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini. Let's see here.
We'll get focused later on. You guys just talk amongst yourself.
Don't forget to share. We increased our followers last week by a little over 200, which is awesome. So one of the topics tonight that we're going to be talking about is why we do this. Okay, so first of all, let me get into saying that a lot of you on all these Facebook pages, you know, NALC, the rural carrier, the mail handler, the APW, AFGE, are always saying your claim is getting denied and you're getting screwed and you don't know what to do. And then you guys wind up seeing us, calling us, and I have over 30 voicemails right now. And you have to understand, when you guys call and I try to call you back and you don't answer, it goes back at the bottom of the list and I have to just keep going. And then the messages come through and then the emails come through. So what I'm trying to say is, as many of you as possible, we do these videos live every week. We educate every week for a reason. So with that said, go through the videos. We tell you how to file the forms, where to find the forms, how to find doctors, how to stop denials. We explain everything. I mean, Chris has been doing this for over 20 years. He has almost 99.9% of the answers. I think almost 100%.
102%.
And you guys have to pay attention. You know, coming next year, there's going to be some awesome things.
Hold on, somebody said no sound, hashtag useless. Give me likes if you hear us.
No sound. No,
Hold on.
Maybe it's your phone.
Just hit a bunch of like buttons if you can hear us.
Can you guys hear us?
Just hit the like button.
No sound. Look at phone.
Hold on. Do you hear us? Hit the like button if you hear us. What's all these like buttons? So turn your volume up. We're getting heard by enough people. Keep hitting like if you hear us. Okay. So
okay, perfect. It's just probably sometimes when
hashtag turn up your volume.
Sometimes either turn your volume or tap the video because there's a mute button on your phone. It happens to me all the time. Anyway, like I was saying, as of next year, there's some really big things coming with federal injury centers. And not only are we, I can hear you. Okay, great. I don't know why some of you can't hear us, but our volume is up, and I'm going to just...
That doesn't really help.
Yeah. Okay, our volume is up.
That's not how it works.
But no sound. Everybody's saying no sound, no sound, no sound.
So every other person can hear. The rest of you, check your volume, check your phone. Not sure why you can't hear.
Yeah, because ours is up. No sound. I can hear you. Okay. So, with that said, again, next year there's some really huge things coming with federal injury centers. You know, we're going to these conventions. When we go to the conventions, you know, Chris is training in detail 2 hours of hardcore training. It's like you're not going to get this type of training not only by watching us here, but there. We could do Skype training. We could do a personal Facebook live training with your union on your union meeting days if that's what you'd like. Close and reopen, still nothing. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say because I see people saying I can hear you and I don't know what else. Same here. Oh boy. So, what should we do if they can't hear us?
Look, this one's angry. Okay, see you next time. I don't know what to tell you. Some people can hear and some can't. We're not really sure why.
I can hear fine.
Okay, so let's just...
I'm not sticking around if I can't hear.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Keep going.
And now it's paused. Okay. Can you hear us? I'm hearing you fine. Okay, so start paying attention to the videos. Tell your friends about us. Because this is the only way they're going to get the information. You know, we hear everyone saying that, you know, you're upset, you can't find a doctor, your claim is getting denied, you don't know what to do. This is why I go back into the Facebook pages for all the sites and tag you guys, and still you guys can't hear.
Oh, let me try. Hey, Tammy, we know you. Tell us if you hear us. Deb can hear us. Robert can hear us. Tammy, you hear us?
Maria, can you, Erinus, if you can hear me, we're going to answer your question. She said, when you file a CA1 and got approved, how do you get the days used while you were off?
You fill out a CA7 with a CA7A. Let us know if you heard that.
I can hear you.
All right.
Okay.
We got enough people hearing us. I think we're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So
if you can't hear, we're really sorry, and we hope you're able to fix that. But everyone else hears. So.
Okay. So like we were saying, okay, good. Maria heard us. Great. So all these little questions you guys have: how to file a CA1, how to file a CA2. What do you do after you've been approved? We've done videos, and great, everybody's starting to hear us. Okay,
all right.
Thank you. All right, so please pay attention. Tell your folks to come on here because it's hard just going one-on-one and the phone calls. You have to remember, it's just me, it's just Derek, and it's just Jennifer. And there is between every federal agency in the nation, how many?
2.8 million.
Yeah, and there's 3 of us, so it gets a little hard. We don't mind helping you, and this is why when next year comes, you will see what we're doing to help you guys nationwide. It's going to be so awesome. And Emmy, you can't hear us.
No, I think she's telling everyone to restart the video.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
So, with that said, don't forget to share, like, and follow us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And this is why we do this, because you guys need the help. And there's not enough people out there that are honest, caring, and understanding as to what you guys are going through. Some people are taking your money up front. Some people are billing you monthly to get help and just have them sit on your claims and get nowhere, and your out-of-pocket expenses every month. So, what we're going to start off, we're going to have Chris explain to you. A lot of people don't understand. Once you file your CA1 and you file your CA2, what are the next steps and what happens?
Yeah, but I'm going to start with this. Normally I start with get on Twitter. Get on Twitter or don't. Most people just won't. Those of you that do understand the value of it. So it's at Fed Injury Center. If you don't want to get on, that's fine. If you find yourself in front of a supervisor and they're lying to you about the rules and you wish you could get on it, it's at Fed Injury Center. It's so easy to sign up that it's probably not. You could probably do it right there. So, consider getting on that. But earlier I was told that, there's at least one person who was on this feed saying, why do you do this? We have people that do the training. And so I just want to address that. So if you're watching and you're that person or one of the many people that have asked us why we do this, considering that you already have people that do this, especially in the unions who we love. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the OWCP reps in each of your unions. So good for them that they're out training it. That's awesome. I doubt anybody trains it the way I do, as I don't train it the way they do. Certainly, I do not train it the way they do. For sure. Like you could put us, line all 5 of us up, and each one of us would train it a different way and tell a different story. I would hope to be the grand finale because you like it the most. That's probably true. But why we do it is because there's nearly 3 million of you. 1 out of 13 people nationwide has an accepted claim. So the training you have right now is not just not effective. At the failure rate of claims, it's almost non-existent. It's not getting through. And so our thing is, great, we can do this and touch, 40, 50,000 people and make an impact on claims acceptance rate. So that's why we do it. If this isn't your cup of tea, that's no problem. We're not offended by those who don't want to watch, no big deal. But if you're somebody who's got benefit from this, if you're one of the thousands of people whose claims have been accepted as a result of this information, tell your friends. And like I say, tell your friends, your coworkers, and your coworkers who are your friends. Let them all know. What we do is because of those denied claims, that's why we do it. I'm so happy that there's other people doing it. Keep doing it. Don't stop just because I am. Just as I'm not going to stop just because you are. The people are never going to stop needing it. So I think that's a comprehensive answer to why the heck we do this, and we're going to keep doing it. So
But just be careful with those people that are doing it to help you and are taking your money up front. Because this is a benefit that it's for free.
No
one should have to pay for any of this. So try to remember that. And if you're in the Florida, Birmingham, Massachusetts area and someone's asking you for money, just call us and we'll help you.
Yeah, don't pay
We don't
for
ask
this.
for money up front. We don't ask for money at all.
All right, so with that said, what was my first topic?
So he's going to discuss what happens when after you filed your CA1 and CA2, what happens?
So, a little backwards to make sure we catch everything. When you file your CA1 and CA2, should be immediately, like right away, as soon as the injury happens or as soon as you're aware that you've got something work-related. That day, that moment, go ahead and go to the supervisor and report it to your supervisor. What happens after you report it is, or what should happen, is that you sit there with your supervisor, you fill out page 1, you have them fill out page 2, you get a copy of the notice of receipt plus a copy of page 1 and 2 that you two filled out of the CA1 and 2, and you take that with you. The supervisor then is responsible for sending that in to Department of Labor. Okay, so they have 10 days from that point to send that in. Oftentimes they won't send it in. You know, it'll get lost in a trash can or under a stack, or the supervisor just won't understand their responsibilities. They will wait on medical documentation that they have no right to, and they'll hold up your claim. And so people will call us all the time and say, you know, I reported my injury to my supervisor 3 weeks ago, and nothing's happened. What's going on? Why is this process so slow? So my first thing is we'll go back to your supervisor and find out if they sent it in to Department of Labor. And did you get a copy of everything? And too often I hear, nope, I didn't get a copy. Well, you can't, if you didn't get a copy, you can't prove that you actually reported. And you need to be able to prove that. So don't leave without a full copy.
Yeah.
So number one, what happens after is claims either make it straight to Department of Labor within 10 days or they get lost. And if they get lost, you have to do something about it, which is go back and find out what the heck happened. If they don't turn it in within the 10-day period, you have a grievance. And each of the unions handles grievances differently. If based on your individual situation, you go talk to someone and find out how to get that done. But they have to turn that in within 10 days. That's the rule. And then what happens? Well, now you have to go choose a doctor. You have to go and find a doctor who's an OWCP doctor. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But what's happening too often is you're getting sent to a doctor. Or in many cases, you're getting sent to a nurse practitioner or a PA, which is a denial. You're getting sent to urgent care, ERs, walk-in clinics, and you're being told you have to go, when the truth is you don't. When the law says you can choose your own doctor, your supervisor can't choose a doctor for you, and they have to tell you it's your right to choose a doctor.
Yeah.
So that's not happening. But if you know the rules, and if you're following us on Twitter at Fed Injury Center, you'll see that that is the rule. And when a supervisor tries to send you their doctor and you put up a fight, or you don't want to go, let's say that, don't fight, but you don't want to go, you have a rule to back you up. So that's the rule.
Right. Coming to two topics that Chris was talking about. This week somebody called and said that, they called and asked for advice, that their supervisor said A, B, and C. And when I told them A, B, and C were wrong, they said, well, I don't believe you because that's my supervisor. When in all honesty, I was giving them the correct information and the supervisor wasn't. So if you call me and you ask me for advice and I give you the right information, I am giving you the right information over the phone. And 80% of the time, Chris is always with me. We work together, live together, everything. So he hears when I'm talking to you guys. So if I say something wrong, he will correct me. And on top of that, I'm not going to tell you something to go against your supervisor for you to get into more trouble. And then the second thing is he talked about the rules on Twitter. Somebody messaged me and said that they don't like that they have to go to Twitter to show their supervisors because it's not a legitimate site. Chris has taken the Twitter with the codes. So on the top of the rules and the laws, you see the codes. Yeah. So if you don't want to show your supervisor that from Twitter, go into Google and type in that code, you'll find that law to show it to your supervisors. But he takes it from where the same place you guys are getting it from and just copies and pastes it from there. So just go into Google, type in the CFR code, and it'll come up on Google, and that should be good enough.
But here's the good news, because I'm going to move past this, but for those of you that think your supervisor's right and we're wrong, that's okay. Because you're protected. As long as you report your injury within 3 years and you fill out your forms and get everything back, if it turns out that your supervisor wasn't correct and your claim was denied as a result, you can fix it. Yeah. You can always call us back, no hard feelings. Because lots of times supervisors give them wrong answers because A, they're trying to maliciously, or B, because they're not trained, okay, so they don't know the rules, or they don't have any common sense, or all kinds of other things that I could have a good time talking about supervisors tonight. But the truth is, if you call and ask for advice, we're going to give you good advice, great advice, winning advice. And if you don't take it, no problem. Don't feel bad about calling back and saying you were right, because we will still help you at all times. That's what we're here for. And this is confusing stuff, so we get it.
Chevelle, you said, is Twitter the only way of you getting the rules and the laws?
For right now.
For now, yes. But if you watch our previous videos, again, Chris says CFR dash whatever, whatever, whatever. Again, you can take that, and we've gone over, we did a special edition where we actually took some of the laws from Twitter, the most important ones, and told you them, and then gave you the CFR codes. So you can go back and look, and just scroll through. Oh, Gizmo, you just noticed he was back there. Yeah, you can just scroll through and do that. But
you can take anything I ever put online, and you can cross-check it with Google, and you will find that it's correct. With the exception of this, Twitter has a limited number of characters, including spaces, that you can put on there. And so sometimes I'll go like ... which is correct grammatically, to indicate that there's some stuff missing in here. And if you're ever curious what the ... is, just Google it. You'll see what that is. I like to go word for word, but Twitter only lets me do so much. And so sometimes I'll summarize the rule, and I'll put the rule in there for your reference, so you can go see what the rule says word for word. For example, there's a CFR that says that you can choose your own doctor, right? Where the rule might say that you have the right to initial selection of physician. So, go check it yourself, but I'll always put it in a summary if it won't fit word for word. But the summary will be a way that makes perfect sense to you. Then you can go reference the law yourself. It's super easy. Google's very user-friendly.
So, did everybody get that?
Yeah, so let's assume they did.
When you file, after you file a CA1 and CA2, always remember, keep copies of everything, every single thing. Like, keep a journal of your OWCP stuff, because it's very important. Copies of everything. Keep all your letters from DOL, your claims examiner, everything. Just keep everything.
Okay, but there's more. So you've got copies of everything. You are now knowing you can select your own doctor, so you choose one. We'll get into choosing doctors in a minute, but you choose one. And so let's say hypothetically you found one. What happens next? Well, now that doctor has got to read over everything you brought in, because you got copies of the CA1 and 2, so let them read over it. You should have written your own personal statement explaining the injury. Department of Labor will very often send a development letter to you. It's just a letter that asks you some questions. You need to answer those questions in writing and send it back, but let the doctor read those as well. And take all of that information, and then the doctor writes a narrative report, and that narrative report gets sent to the claims examiner and is the overwhelming basis for your claim being accepted or denied. So all the information relevant to your injury goes in this narrative, and then goes to Department of Labor, to OWCP, so they can make a ruling on whether or not they're going to approve your case or not. Well, like I said, 1 out of 13 people statistically in the federal government has an accepted claim, which means there's a huge gap in acceptance and actual injuries. The rest are denied or not attempted. So you want to also make sure your doctor writes a great narrative. Assuming your doctor writes a great narrative, then that'll go to the Department of Labor, and then the claims examiner will make a ruling. Where people start to get frustrated is claims examiners don't have any window of time to make decisions in. So, they can take weeks or months. We've seen it take 3 or 4 months before you get a decision back. When it starts to feel like to you it's taken too long, call your claims examiner and find out what the heck is going on. And, call every day, call weekly, every other day, whatever it takes to be the squeaky wheel so a decision will be made.
Yeah.
From there, if your claim is accepted, beautiful. You get your treatment, no more money out of your pocket, You can be reimbursed for past time and expenses and mileage, and you're good to go. You have to start keeping up with CA7s and keeping up with your time right with all the documentation that goes with that, but that's a different topic for a different day. If your claim gets denied, then you file reconsideration. On your appeal request form, you reconsider it. And you have your doctor read the denial letter and respond to it, and that new information from the response goes into the claims examiner for reconsideration. And you keep doing that over and over until you take away all their no's and they have to tell you yes. So that's the Cliff Notes version of what happens when you file a CA1 and 2.
Okay, so the next thing, Chevelle, I know you said you were at a Christmas party and you wanted to know if work comp covered that.
Under certain circumstances, it will. Number one, if it was a mandatory party, you must be there. It's covered. If it's a union event, it's probably not covered. If you were doing work-related activities at the Christmas party, let's say that it was your job, someone's asked you to bring in the ice chest full of bottles of water, and you hurt yourself, that's probably covered. So there are circumstances where that can be covered. I'd have to know your specific circumstance or that person's circumstance.
Okay, this is what she said.
Okay.
Employee went to the employer Christmas event and got hurt. She fell. Can she get work comp since it was outside her tour of duty?
I don't. You know what? I can think of so many reasons that's a no. Let's say at the Christmas event, this person was.
It was not mandatory by the company.
Not mandatory. The person was drinking and fell down dancing. Probably not covered. So I'd have to know probably the specifics, but that's one that would be. It's hard for me to imagine a circumstance in which that would be covered.
Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question, Chevelle, so you could let her know that unfortunately it's
Now, I'm not saying
covered.
she was
right.
drinking and dancing badly.
He's just
saying that in that hypothetical, if that were the case, that's a denial.
She said, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to cover is you guys want to know why is it so hard to get your claims accepted?
So I kind of covered some of this just a second ago when I said that the most important thing, basically, is the doctor's narrative. So you go to the wrong doctor. Let's say you go to an urgent care and you see a nurse practitioner or PA. Well, they can't sign your reports, so that's a denial. The medical doctor has to countersign it. So why do they get denied in that case? Because the MD didn't sign it.
Right.
The other reason why is you go to like a specialist who's a great, say, surgeon. You didn't need a specialist because your ankle was sprained and they're definitely not doing surgery, but somebody said go to a specialist, so you went, and that doctor doesn't write good narratives, and so that really bad narrative caused the claim to get denied. You went to your family doctor, same story, doesn't know how to write narratives, claims denied. VA doctors, same story, claim denied. ER doctor, same story. Specialists, well, all specialists. Chiropractors can't write these narratives and sign them. They can assist a doctor in writing them, obviously. They can assist a medical doctor, but they can't author a report and sign it. So, those are the key reasons claims get denied. Primarily, it's because of a poorly written report that was signed by the wrong type of physician or provider.
Kim, you said, can they deny your CA2 claim after they already approved it?
Well, they can. I mean, they could do more investigation and upon further review find out that you were mountain climbing on the weekend, and they didn't know that before. So if new relevant information comes up, they can definitely go back and deny it. That can happen. I almost never see it happen. But you're asking, can it? The answer is yes. If they, upon further review, find something new, yeah, they can.
Javon, you said, why were you denied a third time?
Why was I denied?
Call Derek on that, or you can email Chris your denial letter. You guys make sure you look at your denial letter on there. It tells you exactly why it was denied. I know a lot of you guys get upset and say, oh, OWCP, and I say this every week, oh, OWCP is a pain in the beep, and they're the ones that keep denying it. But you have to understand, it has to be the proper wording. The doctor has to be trained. All the doctors that Chris just listed, they don't understand OWCP, and they're just going to write a consultation note, and that's not good enough.
So Javon's in the Boston area.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the issue there. Dr. Guidotti, who is a Harvard grad medical doctor who's maybe one of the best in the world at writing these narrative reports, his biggest complaint, and the last time I checked, 82 point something % of his claims were approved, the other 18 were still in process. Many of that 18% had been denied multiple times. Many of the 82% had been denied multiple times. And his big frustration is it feels like claims examiners are just denying to see if it'll go away. And so they'll deny for the worst reasons. I've seen some of the most ridiculous denials for doctors to have to go back and do reconsideration requests. So these things happen. It's frustrating. But to answer why was I denied a third time would require me to see all 3 denial letters, which I have not. I'd love to look at it and help. But if Derek sees it and if Dr. Guidotti knows about it, they'll go again. This stuff happens. I've seen them denied more than 4 times. It's very, very frustrating. I almost never see a claim approved the first time unless it's like a knee sprain, which is very minor, and it happened by walking, say, stepping out of an LLV, and there were witnesses and saw it happen. They'll almost approve that one automatically. The more severe cases, they'll give you some trouble. So there's a lot of reasons why it could have been.
Yeah. So we went over what you do after you file your CA1 and CA2. We went over what did we go over? Why your claims are getting denied. And we went over the fact that you guys are saying that we're not giving you the right information and your supervisor is. So just remember, it's okay to listen to your supervisor, but if you're going to call me...
There's some good ones.
And yeah, there are. We're seeing a supervisor now in one of our clinics. They get injured too.
Yeah.
But when you call me and you tell me, nope, that's not right, and it's my supervisor, I've been working for the post office for 13 years, then there's no need to call and tell me I'm wrong.
Chevelle, read that.
Hold on. We got to go in order. How much do you all charge to look at documents? Give me your advice. I trust you all.
Well, thanks for your trust. I charge you $0. If that's too much, I can do better.
We charge $0 and 0 cents.
Well, just send it to me by email. I'll be happy to look at it.
So if you need to send anything, it's chris@federalinjurycenters.com or Gini, Gini, @federalinjurycenters.com.
Now be patient because, thousands of people are going to hear this and want to send stuff to me, and I'll be happy to read it. But I might take a little time. So just be patient with me. But please send it. I never will charge for that.
Chevelle.
And remember, a minute ago I said never pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
I meant it. Don't pay me either. I'm not asking for it.
Chevelle, in any of the doctors that Chris has trained and the clinics that we have, $0 gets charged, even if your claim gets denied.
Right.
$0. It's $0 on the phone when you call and ask us for advice, and we're on the phone for 5 minutes or an hour and a half. It doesn't matter. This is what we do. We're trying to help everyone, but we're limited to just a handful of people.
Yeah.
Juliana Taylor said, what's the time on a CA20 getting approved? Surgery's in my future. The doctor's office said they'll help me submit the paperwork.
All right, I'm positive that she meant CA2, and so a CA20 is a different kind of form. I'm positive you meant CA2, and that's okay. The amount of time it takes to get a CA2 approved depends on the ability of the doctor to write a great narrative explaining why your condition is work-related. There's no time frame. I can't point to a rule. There's no standard. Unfortunately, claims examiners are all over the map. And so the best thing to do is to report right on time, make sure your supervisor gets it in on time, go right to the doctor, make sure your doctor gets a narrative out timely, and that it's good. And if you get all of those things done, now you're at the mercy of a claims examiner, and you just got to call as often as you feel comfortable calling, being the squeaky wheel. And then that's the only way to really speed up the process. And that doesn't guarantee there won't be an initial denial that has to be overcome with a reconsideration.
Yeah. So I see a lot of you are saying your case was approved. Really good.
Yeah.
It just takes time, guys. It takes time and the effort of the doctor. And
the more severe the case, the harder it is to get approved. Period. That's just how it is. But we get all kinds of cases approved. There's no case that's legitimate and timely filed that I feel like I can't get approved ultimately. It really just depends on, and I teach this at conventions and other meetings, as long as you don't throw your hands up and give up, neither will we. We'll do as many reconsiderations as it takes. The key is that your claim is legit, meaning it's actually work-related. Timely filed, meaning you filed it within 3 years of the injury.
Oh, Juliana said, not a CA2. That's approved. Getting paid while I'm out on surgery.
So getting paid is a CA7. You need to attach a CA20 to it. They want you to turn CA7s in every 2 weeks. And then I've heard different things. I've heard some people say they're paid every 2 weeks, and some people saying they're paid once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
But you have to attach the CA20 from the doctor, CA17 if one exists and it took you off of work, a narrative report from the doctor that needs to be just small, a small narrative explaining why you're off of work, and appointments, printouts from your doctor signed by your doctor.
Yeah.
Attach those to your CA7 and turn those in. If you want to see an automatic denial, attach no documentation. So in order to avoid denials and speed up your payment, attach documentation.
Yeah, Derek. So everybody that's in Massachusetts and in the New England area, I know a lot of calls are coming to me, and it's okay. I send you off to Derek. Derek will either call you, and if there's anything that needs to be done, Emmy will call you. It's not Penny, it's Emmy.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So you guys, ask them, send your stuff to even Derek at federalinjurycenters.com.
Right.
So,
yeah, if you send it to any of us, we'll make sure you get the answer. We'll make sure things get taken care of. But there's a team of us, and we all kind of work together to help you out.
yeah, so when we call you back, take the call. You can text us back between me, Jennifer. Jennifer's in Texas. She handles a lot of the Alabama stuff. She'll also answer your random questions that you have if we can't get to it. There's Derek, there's Emmy, there's me, there's Chris. So just know that there's not that many of us and 2.8 million of you guys.
Yeah.
So just to let you know.
All right, moving on. What's
All right,
next?
the next, let's see, Catherine said, I'm on my second denial going for reconsideration. My lawyer requested another narrative from my doctor. I'd like to go to that doctor that Jen recommended in Maryland, but my lawyer says I should stay with him, with my doctor. Not good to switch. Oh, your attorney said it's not good to switch. Not sure what I should do. Do you think my doctor will help?
So, I don't know your attorney. I don't want to overrule your attorney. I don't know what your attorney's rationale is. And so let me say nothing about your attorney, and let me address switching doctors.
Yeah.
Switching doctors is hard. It's usually denied if you request it. The doctor in Maryland is brilliant and writes beautiful narratives and gets most of them approved. And if you found yourself there, you would find yourself with an approved claim.
Yeah.
So understand that your claim would get approved. Dr. Paulson and Dr. Weinberg write some of the best narratives I've ever read. One of them is so good and entertaining that I use it as one of my examples when I teach at union conventions. So it's really good. Saying that it's not good to switch doctors, I don't know. Look, if the claims examiner approves a change of doctor, then there's nothing bad about it because they approved it. And there's multiple ways to get to a doctor without changing doctors too. So I don't know who your attorney is, but if you guys want some help, I'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, Catherine, if you want, Derek can help you as well, get you to go see Dr. Weinberg as well. So you can contact Derek. And Derek, if you
And Dr. Paulson.
Yeah, and Dr. Paulson. Derek, if you can you put your phone number on there so Catherine can contact you, and you can help her get into the Weinberg's office in Rockville, Maryland.
Right. But again, look, it's your choice if you want to go to a doctor. We don't force you to go to doctors. That I said someone's name should not persuade you one way or the other. It's your choice. We like that it's your choice. But if you're suffering with a denial, I like to say, if you sit at a red light long enough, you're probably going to run it. So I don't know how long you've been at this particular red light. I just am offering an option.
You do need an approval to switch doctors if your case was denied.
Yeah, so the thing says we don't need approval to switch doctors if our case was denied, right? No. You think that's right, but actually your case can be denied 3 or 4 or 5 or a dozen times, and a claims examiner will still deny your request. If you are one of the ones that went to, say, an orthopedic specialist first, and then you find a general practitioner who happens to specialize in OWCP, they're still a GP, and that request will almost always be denied. But there's other ways. You can ask your doctor to write a letter removing himself from your case, and then you have to choose another doctor. You can ask for a referral. Most referrals are approved. So there's other ways to get it done. But no, denials do not automatically give you the ability to change doctors, sadly.
Yeah. promise, you just said you just received mine back today, and you had little angry faces. Let me know what it is that we could help you in to get rid of the angry faces and why.
Let's turn that into a smile.
Yeah, I'm thinking you received a denial, so let us help you with that.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. So the next thing that we're going to cover is how do you go about finding an OWCP doctor? And there's a few ways, and one of them sucks. Sorry to say.
Yeah, my favorite way right now, okay, the number one way anywhere in the country, okay, is to just Google search it, which sounds like, I can't believe I showed up to this, live broadcast I use Google, but use Google. Let me tell you how to search, though. You need to go and write this down. I always say write this down. If you want to search Google, search this entire phrase. It's OWCP, injury doctor, and your city and state. So we're in Clearwater, right? OWCP, injury doctor, Clearwater, Florida. That's how you search for a doctor. It's the best way to search for a doctor on Google, because any doctor that wants to be found will have that as a search criteria. And they'll be found with that. They'll have those words in their website so you can find them, right? And so that's the best way, because if they want to help you, they'll be found with that search phrase, okay? If they don't do OWCP, you won't find them with that in the phrase. So I like searching Google, OWCP, injury doctor, city and state. Another way to do it is ask us. We will make recommendations. We don't make, we don't require you to go to doctors. I'll tell you, if we have an office in a city and you don't want to go to that office, we'll help you find one you do want to go to. We really just don't require it. We care because we get your claims accepted. But you can take any suggestion that we make. It's only a suggestion, okay? You are free to go where you want, and there's no hard feelings on our end. We're just happy to help.
Yeah, but with that said, you're going to go where you want, and it's fine to choose who you want to go to. But if they can't get your claim accepted, you wind up coming back to us, and you get screwed from the beginning instead of, contacting us, one of us.
Yeah, but the real problem is that now you've got to go through that whole thing I just said about changing treating doctors, which is hard. So choosing the right doctor up front is the best solution to deny claims. Because if you go to somebody that's got a proven track record on do we get claims accepted, then you're likely to get your claim accepted. If you don't, you're likely to get a denial and find it nearly impossible to switch doctors. So it is critically important to you to find the right doctor.
Yep.
But anyways, it's just one of the ways. Like, you can go to Google and find your own doctor. We're happy that you do that. If it works, fantastic. If you want our advice, we'll tell you where there's one nearest to you. And you know what? It might not even be in your own state. That's your choice. Look, we do the best we can with recommendations. You can go to ACS. It's the Web Build Processing Portal. It would be the last place, as a guy who's savvy with this stuff, it's the last place I would ever think to go to search for a doctor, and that's where you got to go. And they've got a little provider search and a small hyperlink buried in the middle of a page with a lot of stuff on it you don't understand.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and you Google DOL or OWCP ACS, and it'll be the first thing in Google. Scroll down, go to the provider search. And the problem with that is if you can figure out and navigate the next 3 screens to get you to the search, you'll get a list of doctors or pages of doctors who don't want to help you. If you call and ask, they'll say, we don't take workers' comp, we don't take federal employees, we don't know what OWCP is, what are you talking about, we didn't know we were listed, no. And this happens all the time. My example is I was looking for a doctor in Alabama, and I had to call 11 doctors before I got a yes. And that doctor was even hesitant to say yes. So that was a problem. But it's available, so you can Google search that and see what you can see.
And I tell this to everybody, if you are going on the ACS website and you click provider search, then you have to click accept, FICA, and then physician MD, your state. Then once you get there, and like Chris said, the list comes up, I advise you to call the number, ask for the billing manager, not the girls at the front desk. Ask for the billing manager and say, do you accept federal work comp? I'm a federal employee, because they have no clue sometimes if you're state workers comp, even though you say you're federal, it's going to get screwed up. So make sure if you go through the ACS, you ask for the billing manager and ask them if they take federal work comp.
Yeah, but one more thing, and this is the last thing on how to find a doctor. Look, no, there's 2 things. if you have a friend at work or a coworker or a friend who's a coworker, and you know they had a claim accepted, maybe try their doctor. Even if it's not our doctor and I don't know them, I can be good friends with any doctor who knows how to get a claim accepted. We were in Salt Lake City. We talked to a couple of ladies who went to 2 different doctors that I'd never heard of, but those 2 different doctors got a claim accepted. I said, fantastic, let me have those doctors' names. I'd like to know them. So, you know, it's okay if I don't know them. What I care about is can they get the job done? And so if you know somebody who knows somebody that got a job done, that's a better option than going to just some random untrained doctor.
Yeah, Tracy, she said, I'm so grateful for you guys. I've been watching you for only a month, and Jennifer assisted me with an issue I had. That's great.
Yeah,
we're glad to hear that.
Don't read that one yet because I want to talk about it. The last thing on finding a doctor. So one of the things we have coming up in the next, I'd say, quarter to 4 months, we're building out a provider search portal so that you can go to the website or to the internet and find a doctor. And we're going through the trouble of calling and finding doctors that want to help OWCP. And so once we have that launched, we'll give it to you. We'll broadcast it everywhere. I did a Facebook survey the other day. Normally I'll do these little surveys and the answers should always be overwhelmingly positive to 100%. And I'll always get like 3 or 5 hecklers that I don't know what their problem was that day. But on this one, the question was, you know, do you want a better way to find a doctor? And 100% of respondents said yes. Well, of course you do. I knew it. It was kind of redundant even to ask, but I thought, what the heck? So we know you need it, and so we're creating it ourselves because what's out there for you sucks. And your biggest problem is you can't find doctors that care, and so I'm going to go find them for you. And we're going to have somebody working full-time just calling and saying, hey, will you be listed here?
Yeah.
And so as we build that, you'll see more and more doctors, for example, on ACS, that want to migrate over to our thing because they want to be found.
Yep.
And they're frustrated too that you got to call, 5 pages of doctors to find them to get a yes. So those that want to say yes are probably going to say yes to get on this portal. So we're working on it. It's one of several things that we're doing to make your life easier and to make a dent in this denied claims program problem.
All right, Nefertiti Natalie said, I was approved for PT and they said they can't approve surgery because they don't think I need it. Should I get an attorney?
No.
Don't get an attorney.
Don't get a lawyer, not for that. So here's the issue. Your doctor thinks you need surgery. I'm sure you are a surgical candidate if your doctor thinks that. What usually happens, though, is your doctor writes a narrative that, miraculously gets accepted, but it gets accepted for like a sprain or a strain, right?
Right.
Well, those aren't surgical. And so I'd need to know what your accepted condition is, because if it's not surgical, they will never approve it. And so you have to get a diagnosis expansion. Your doctor has to write a narrative adding the more severe diagnosis and proving why it needs to be on this claim, and then they'll almost automatically approve surgery. So they're not approving it because your diagnosis likely, I don't know you, so I could be wrong, this is usually right, your diagnosis is very likely not upgraded to a level that would require surgery. It doesn't mean you don't have a surgical condition, it means that you have the wrong diagnosis as your accepted condition.
Katie, tell me what city and state you're in. Let me see. At the end, I'll go ahead and list all the doctors that Chris has trained that we have, and let's see if any of those are close to you. But the website is OWCP DOL, A as in apple, C as in cat, S as in Sam, ACS. And then you'll see it'll say web bill processing. Just click that, and then to the left of that is at the bottom, to the left-hand side is provider search.
And then good luck to you.
You live in Iowa.
We don't know anybody there, but we're working on it. Look, seriously, we're going to call doctors in all 50 states.
What state is close to Iowa that you train? Any of those
Nobody's
doctors?
close to Iowa, sadly. Look, Iowa is my extreme example that I use when I say, look, we'll help anybody, even if we don't know a doctor, even if you're in Iowa. That's my example that's extreme. I don't know anybody there, but we are working on it.
And let's see, Beth said, my medical authorization for second surgery has been pending since October 2019. My claims examiner has assured me that all necessary documentation was received and is in the hands of the OWCP Medical Review Board. My first surgery was approved in less than a month. Is there anything more I can do on my end to get things moving?
Call your claims examiner every single day. and say, now what? How about today? How about now? How about now? How about now? Until
Yeah.
they have to give you a decision. You know, what if it was an emergency? This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
somebody
just
laughed
keep calm.
about that once when we told them, but that's the only way to get through because they have to take your call and stop watching soaps.
Yep.
Let's see. Evans Juice put down Dr. Paulson's number, the doctor in Maryland. Also, again, if you want, contact Derek, and Derek will help you to get in with the Maryland doctor. So, I'm going to tell you all the locations that there are doctors that Chris has trained and that we have.
But before she does that, you need to know we are not endorsing. We're not telling you must go. We know these doctors, and they're great, and they get claims accepted, and if you want to go, you should, and if you don't, that's your right. So choose wisely, but know it's your choice. But she's here to help you find somebody.
All right, so we're going to start in Florida. Florida, we have a federal injury centers in Clearwater, right off of Curlew and Dunedin. So that's Clearwater. There's a doctor in Fort Myers, Dr. DiTomaso and Dr. Cameraman. There's a Dr. Newman in the Miami area with Dr. Cameraman. There's Dr. Bruce Osler in West Palm Beach with Dr. Cameraman, and Port St. Lucie with Dr. Cameraman. So those are the 5 areas in Florida.
I want to say another thing. I don't make any money on these referrals, so if you go, you go. But nobody is paying me to tell you to go to them. These are people that I know do a good job. This is very important because somebody's going to come on here and say, "Oh, see, you're what are they saying? What are they saying I'm doing? Patient brokering?"
Patient brokering.
I hear so much crap. Look, I'm not. I'm here to help you. Go to them or don't go to them. But we know people who know how to get the job done, and you don't, and so that's why you're here. All right. So with that said, that's just important. Please don't come on here and say that I'm committing fraud or breaking the law. I'm just helping you, and you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's Clearwater, Fort Myers, Miami, West Palm Beach, and Port St. Lucie. Those are the doctors that Chris trained in Florida. Then there's Norwood, Massachusetts, Woburn, and Quincy, Massachusetts. Then there's Rockville, Maryland, Vienna, Virginia.
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah, Greensboro, North Carolina. Then we are headed to Racine, Wisconsin, Indianapolis, Indiana, Hoffman Estates, Chicago, Illinois, Tucson, Arizona, Houston, Texas.
That's all the ones that I've trained.
Yeah, and that's it. That's
these
all the
are
ones he's trained.
These are offices that have been trained by us. They follow roughly the same guidelines that we do, although we don't manage the offices. They follow the same best practices to get claims accepted, and we train them on purpose because you need them. So, check them out or don't check them out. Just know that if you're near those areas, all hope is not lost for you. Okay, there's somebody that definitely knows what they're doing. And our doctors, they push 80-90% claims acceptance rate. The ones that aren't accepted just aren't accepted yet. So, be patient with them and let them work your denials when it happens.
Now, I physically work for the Fort Myers doctor, the Miami doctor, the West Palm Beach doctor, the Port St. Lucie doctor, and the Chicago doctor. So if you need any info on any of those doctors, just call me. I will definitely get you in and get you taken care of with those doctors.
And those of you that just went, aha, I knew it. No. She doesn't get paid for referrals.
No.
She gets a flat rate regardless,
Yeah.
okay, whether you go or not. So just make a smart decision for yourself. Help your friends, your coworkers. Help people out. That's what this is about.
Yeah, it's just me
Nothing more.
giving you a doctor. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Some of you go, some of you don't go, and it's fine. No one's feelings are hurt. Samara, you say they never answer. Who is they? And
The claims examiner, probably.
The claims examiner. Okay. I know. Let me know if Dr. Petrone called you in Chicago to get you set up into the office. And we could go from there. So, with that said, again,
look, that's a problem. I needed an upgrade. Yeah. So your diagnosis has to be the proper diagnosis necessary for surgery. I just want to follow back up on that.
Yeah. So, in this month, everybody's busy. The carriers are busy.
Gizmo's super busy.
That's Gizmo all day, every day. And don't forget that we are sitting here. Chris has been like getting up at like the crack of dawn, working on our 2020 things that are going to be happening, and it's going to be really exciting. You guys are going to be so happy with the outcome of what's going to happen for 2020.
I am going to give you offices in all 50 states.
Yeah. And
remember this day at this time, I'm going to give you an office in all 50 states.
Yeah. So there's some big things coming. Lots of phone calls that we're doing to make these things happen. Also, our app is, coming to an end, so you guys could get to see
the
and use
production
the
is
app.
coming to an end.
Yeah.
It's almost online, is what she means.
And so we are scheduled for 8 state conventions / boosters in the state of Michigan. This is for rural carriers. Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Chicago, Kentucky for APW. And there's more than one. So those of you that are in the union, the secretaries, the presidents, and all of that good stuff, if you want us to come for your 2020 conventions,
get in line quick.
Hurry up.
There's one of me and a lot of you.
Yeah, message me, get me your info, and please, when you see us letting you know that we're coming, get on there, because it's worth the 2-hour presentation that Chris puts on, and then we stay a couple days, a day before and day after, and we answer all your questions, one-on-one questions that you have. We attend your little union party. You guys always ask us to come to your breakfast, lunch, and dinners, and so we're there for all of that. But just stay tuned. Please, the questions that you guys have, go back to the videos, watch the videos. A lot of the questions can be answered if you just go back to the videos and watch. You have to share. Thank you for the 200 other people that have been following. I want to get to 5,000, hopefully by the end of December, so please tell your friends.
Look, I don't want to get to
us.
5,000. There's 2.8 million of you, and half of you are going to need this help every single year. So pass it around. This thing should be spreading like a fire.
Yeah.
So 5,000, it should be 500,000. Okay? All of you need to tell 10 people, and then 10 more, and then 10 more, and then 10 more. This is so important. Everyone, if you're on here right now, and this is you, hit a like button, okay? If after what I'm about to say, this is you. If you waited until you needed it, it was too late.
Yeah.
If that's you, start hitting the like button now, because that's what's happening. People wait till they need it to get the information. I'm trying to give it to you before you need it. There's nothing better than getting hurt and then saying, I'm going to be okay. I know what to do. That's what we're trying to do. We want you to know what to do before you need it. If you wait till after you need it, you've already got a denial. Now we got to fight through that. So you need to pass this thing along. All right, we don't want 5,000 people watching. We want 500,000 people. And that's still just 1/6 of the federal government. And you're all covered. So everybody is responsible for passing this on like a wildfire. We're trying to teach it in a way that nobody's ever taught it. And we're teaching it at a frequency that it never gets taught. And you're able to answer these, or ask questions in real time and get your answers. So what's better than this? Look, OWCP is not, I say this, it's not sexy until you need it. Okay? And then it's like the best thing you ever saw. So you need to know what's up on this, and it's your responsibility to pass this on. All right, I shouldn't have to beg you to get on Twitter at Fed Injury Center. Just get there. And we don't want to beg you to come here and watch. We want you to just tell your friends because you like your friends, at least a little bit. And it's in their interest to be here and get the information. So we want you to come to this page, Wednesday Night OWCP Chats, follow it, like it, share it, and come back next week, okay? And every week thereafter, if we're not going to be on, we'll let you know. But, this is a great service to you. We love doing it. Everybody that we've helped, it gives me a good feeling in my heart to do the help. And they'll all tell you that if they didn't have that help, they would have been in dire straits. And we've seen too many people like that. So tell your friends, pass it on. No kidding. This is like your public service. Do this and help somebody else. Let them know. Not 5,000, 500,000, because there are 2.8 million federal employees.
Yeah, and those of you that, I know you guys are tagging me in posts that employees are injured. thank you. You know, we're going to help as many of you guys as we possibly can. Just let them know, push them over to the page to watch, because we will answer those questions.
Yeah.
Give them the phone number, give them Derek's number, Jennifer's number, whatever, and we will help.
It's hard to have literally thousands of long, detailed conversations by phone every week. There's not enough hours in the day. But if you come here and you get your questions answered, awesome. You know, it's done already. If you show up to one of the conventions and we're teaching, spectacular. You know, you get the information. And when you're here or you're there, you have a chance to ask your questions in real time.
Yeah.
And so some people get frustrated because you feel like you're in this infinite long line of people waiting for us to call back. It's hard. We're doing the best we can, but here we are right now, an hour every week. So please just tell your friends.
Yeah, let me answer these couple of questions. Robert Mass, my wife has 2 surgeries on her shoulder. She is a rural mail carrier. Her surgeon has released her, and her own doctor is about to release her with permanent restrictions. What are her options?
Well, work with your union and try to get a permanent limited duty assignment. Okay, there's always that. Make sure with the shoulder that she's getting a schedule award impairment rating, because with the shoulder she's definitely eligible for an impairment rating. That's, again, a whole hour-long topic. I can't really get into it here. I'm happy to help you individually if you send us a message. But she's got to do those things. You know, see if there's a position in the post office that she can do. And maybe there is, maybe there isn't. You know, changing crafts isn't everyone's favorite thing, but, you know, is that possible? The thing that I hate talking about, and God forbid it becomes necessary, but there is, through the Office of Personnel Management, there is disability retirement. I hate it. I don't want to talk about it. You're asking me what options are out there, and it would be wrong of me not to give you all of them.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 things I think of the most: schedule award impairment ratings, permanent limited duty assignments using your union for help, and as a last worst case scenario, OPM disability. And we can help you with all those. I just hope you can avoid that last one.
All right, Samara, you said I still have a question about switching doctors. Sorry, you're getting me scheduled in Chicago, but since I've already been to a doctor here and they denied my case, is there something I need to do before I go to the doctor in Chicago? Again, sorry to go backwards. I just want to be sure.
So do a couple of things. Get, if you can, from your current doctor a referral for an evaluation to the doctor in Chicago. See if you can get an evaluation referral. Take that referral with you. I don't know if it makes sense, because I don't know where you're coming from, to change treating doctors. But if you want to, you write a letter requesting a change of treating doctor and give your reason why. Your reason may be as simple as, my doctor has given up and is unwilling to continue writing the narratives it takes to write to get a case accepted. You can ask your doctor to relieve themselves from the case, like, please remove yourself from the case by writing a letter to the claims examiner. These are all options that are in the rules. I'm not just making this up. These are in the rules.
Yeah.
So you can do those things. But I can tell you that, you know, this guy in Chicago will help you, whether he's your treating doctor or not. Let's get your case accepted.
Sammy May, I was shaking my head because I was reading this. How do we get DOL to request an impairment rating evaluation? The office I go to wants payment up front for DOL to request the evaluation.
All right, so DOL doesn't request these. That's not a thing. That will never happen. It's like DOL saying to a doctor, please do an evaluation that will cause me to have to pay potentially thousands of dollars. They're not going to request to pay thousands of dollars. The doctor can attempt to pre-authorize your impairment rating through the web bill processing portal we talked about earlier. Impairment ratings have a code. I forget what it is because I'm not a coder. But there is a CPT code that a doctor can pre-authorize. It's likely an automatic yes, and when they pre-authorize it, they'll pay it. So the best I can tell you is have your doctor request pre-authorization. Once they get approval, or pre-authorization approval, they do the impairment rating, they bill it. A pre-authorization approval is as good as gold to doctors. They'll definitely pay them.
I'm going to read this one.
By the way, that's why we train doctors. That's even a question is maddening to me, but you know.
Yeah, I'm going to read this one, and I read most of it and it just made me really sad, because this is why we tell you to watch us and tell everybody to watch us right off the beginning when they have an injury, or you know that they're going to have an injury, because people are losing their homes, They don't know what to do. They have nowhere to go. They can't put food on the table, and it's so heartbreaking for us to hear. So Jackie, she said, they put me on work comp August 4th. I still have no wages. They sent me to a doctor that assessed my knee replacement to see if it was related to my initial injury. They denied it. What? My organization wouldn't accommodate me. I have 5 herniated discs in my neck, 1 impinging CFS in my head, and impinging nerve root for my right shoulder. What should I do? We lost our house. My husband had to take a job in a different state. I'm living with a friend in Colorado, waiting for them to help me. They added 4 new accepted conditions. None have to do with anything with my cervical spine. Ugh.
That's exactly why we do this. And that's exactly why we train doctors too. I can't speak to your medical condition because I don't know you. I know what you just said. Let's make an assumption that I'm going to assume that all of what you said is definitely work related. Again, you didn't say what agency you worked for, what your job was. I imagine whatever it is was like I knew like an air marshal who had to fight for a living and had everything wrong with them. So I know that there are jobs in the federal government that are just brutal. But when you have these, the doctor has to go through the painstaking effort of writing out tremendous detail for every injury and explaining how it's related to the job. If you had all of those accepted, like you said, they didn't approve all the conditions that should have been approved, you'd be at least in better shape as far as the system goes financially and so forth.
Hold on. She's an RN for DOD medic.
Yeah, so
great job.
Injured lifting people and
yeah.
Who knows what else. Good Lord. But yeah, I hope you didn't go to VA doctor, but I'll bet you did. And those usually don't work out good for people. But you can maybe change doctors and try to have someone else take a shot at helping you get the rest of your conditions approved. Let's say hypothetically you can get everything approved. You get to go back and get money back, time back, mileage back, other travel related costs back, and impairment ratings, which is extra money, and all sorts of things. That's just, to me, that's a tragedy, and those are the things we're trying to avoid. I can't change that your job's hard and that you're getting hurt at it, but I can change denied claims and poor diagnosis and those things. So we'd be really happy to help you get to somebody that might be able to do a better job for you.
Yeah, Jackie, if you can, call me sometime this week, and let's me, you, and Chris get on the phone together.
I mean, are you even still working? Are you at the point where it's time to do disability retirement? I've rarely seen this many injuries on a federal employee. Just rarely, very rarely. If you're able to still work through that, you are a federal employee terminator.
Yeah. Let's see. So, with that said, everyone, we hope we covered, why your cases are getting denied, what to do after a CA1 and CA2 has been filed, how you can find a doctor. I've listed the doctors that we've trained, and continue to share, continue to follow, continue to like. If you don't follow and share on the Wednesday night chats, you will not get the notification. And don't let things like what happened to Jackie happen to somebody else and go down this, like you guys say, this OWCP hell. Contact us. You can contact myself. You can contact Derek. You can contact Jennifer. We're all here to help you guys. Again, 2020 is going to be a really, really big year for you guys. The things that we are trying to do to help you guys. So watch out. It's coming. We're trying to help every one of you in all 50 states next year. So it's going to be really big. And all of our videos are on here. If you go into the Wednesday night tab, chats, you go into the tab where it says video, and every single video is there. And we are educating. And again, those of you that are in the union and want us to come out next year for your boosters and your meeting, please let me know. Again, we are already booked for 8 conventions already, and we don't need to have a doctor in any particular state to come to your conventions. I'm not there selling and marketing. I'm there teaching. Okay, yeah. Nothing else. This is not a sales presentation. We're literally there to teach. So many of the people here
have been to our live training events, so they'll vouch that it really is not a sales presentation. It is the most comprehensive OWCP legal training that you've ever had or will ever have, guaranteed.
Yeah. We know a lot of you have district reps, NBAs, VA people, AFGE people, all the different people. We're just here to help assist. There's only a handful of them, and there's 2 of us, but whatever it is that we could do, we're here to help.
Yeah.
Don't pay for your cases to get
try to avoid
strung
it.
along if you don't have to. And don't forget to watch us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we, again, thank you guys all for watching and trusting us on educating you guys. So again, don't forget to like, share, and follow. And we will see you guys next Wednesday.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Good night.